Okay, my finger's getting tired. So.
Greetings, people of the internet, dwellers of the undergrounds.
Welcome, basement inhabitants. Welcome to this live stream. The greatest live stream in...
Wait. Basement inhabitants. What do you mean?
Yeah, because Babushka's in his basement.
My room is in the basement.
Literally in his mom's basement.
It's a figure of speech.
Yeah.
But you have one of the cooler basements I've seen. You know, you got a bed, you got a whole setup there. You're already doing better than most people.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, everybody knows though who has the best setup here, all right? It's undeniable.
Y'all hear something?
I hear bullshit.
It smells like it too. So this is how we're starting it off, all right? We're starting with the setup. Look, I know I'm not winning because my backdrop is basically my closet and a door and a fan that may or may not have to be used because it is hotter than Satan's ball sack here. Trillion's got a chalkboard, which makes him look smart. That's about it. Babushka has a bed, and we've already established he's in a basement, apparently. But he's got really cool lighting. And a couch.
Aziz is just somewhere.
And Aziz, is that a green screen?
No, this is an invisible field behind him. We can't see anything.
Hold on, to the right. Is that one of those like little portable soccer goals?
No, that's Windows XP background.
Sure, let's go with that.
So yeah, welcome people, welcome. Let's just get this over with.
Let's get this started.
All right, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. A lot of stupid stuff happened, and we promise no feminism this time. We're gonna put feminism in the closet for a bit. Just let it simmer. All right, we're gonna talk about other things.
Yes, let's start with the most important topic on the list today, your beard. Now, if we zoom in here, you'll see that it looks particularly puby today.
What?
I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking.
The process of grooming your beard is a very complex endeavor in which requires a lot of patience or whatnot. Well, first you need to grow it. I know that's a new concept for you, Louis, but
no, I can grow a beard just fine. I just, I don't want like a furry beast on my chin yet. I'm not ready for it. That's a huge responsibility to take care of that pet on your chin.
Oh, and I have to keep this bitch well oiled. I need to apply beard shampoo. I never knew this when I signed up. I thought you just let it, and it just grows. But apparently not.
Granted, a lot of people think that, and a lot of people do that, but then they get judged for it. And then you have a beard, but you don't have all the graces of having a beard, if that makes sense.
Oh, it's not that. It's the itchiness. If you don't take care of it, you will itch to death. Like, I know Babushka took out his beard twice because of the itchiness, because he doesn't have the apparatus.
And my beard is much thicker.
We don't talk about that part.
That's why I'm called here Babushka.
In any case, I want Louis to start us off with one topic. Let's get to the update for the Georgia law out of the way.
Oh, the update goes as followed. A fourth state joined, Missouri. So now it is up to Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Missouri. All coincidentally, the states with the lowest IQs and the collective education scores here in the States. So take that how you will. But it's getting closer and closer to the Supreme Court, meaning it'll get closer and closer to the official vote regarding the abortion ban, the big precedent here regarding Roe versus Wade. So that's a work in progress. That said, I think the real issue that is affecting the states this time is, abortion was one thing. Gay marriage was another thing. How about children of gay marriages? Let me explain. So, there was, if I can pull up this article here, there is a State Department, specifically the Trump administration, who is apparently on its way to make sure that citizens that were born of gay or adopted by gay parents are no longer going to be U.S. citizens. So basically, assume you're an orphan and you get adopted by gay parents. Basically, what's going to happen is, if all goes well with this bill, essentially you are going to lose your citizenship despite being born in the United States and automatically having citizenship. You're going to have it revoked simply because you were adopted by two gay people who you did not get to choose were going to adopt you. And this is making the rounds for obvious reasons, because no one knows what the fuck we're doing anymore.
Dude, it's impressive. It's impressive, all right? It's like a salad, you know? It's like, you know, you made a big salad, and instead of adding tomatoes, you like added mangoes and added like, and just made a mess.
This whole year has been the equivalent of putting peanut butter on pizza. It is absolutely, no one knows what's going on anymore. And no one really wants to recognize what's happening right now because no one knows how to label it. This is being discussed, and if you don't think that there are people just laughing their ass off at home thinking about how, like, there's news sources that are actually having to cover this about how, you're a kid. You're a kid that was born here. You look like an American. You, as far as, like, you have all the American credentials, quote unquote, and it's not even your fault.
But your parents are gay.
Yeah, your parents are gay, and because of that, you might get deported. That's an actual discussion. It's like whether or not the white kids are going to start getting deported now.
Oh, I can picture this, you know? Like, I'm sorry, John, you know, you have a PhD in political theory. You have no criminal record. You're an ideal citizen, but I'm sorry, your parents were faggots. You have to go.
And you already know there's a bunch of people are going to catch on to this. A lot of parents that are going to catch on and try to put their kids into hiding somewhere, hide the birth certificate, make them not exist anymore.
Yeah, Mexico style, right?
And then all of a sudden, someone's going to recognize them or uncover their true identity later on in life. Imagine being an old man, you know, like 100 years pass. This bill eventually gets passed, right? And you're an old man on your deathbed, and the last before you pass out is you're no longer a citizen. We're gonna have to take your corpse out. You're not getting buried in this backyard. You can't.
Wait, okay. Let me get this straight. So let's say a person got married, had a kid, but the father's parents were gay. Does the kid, the grandkid, does he get deported too?
It's similar to the whole abortion situation. There's so many ifs, ands, shoulda, woulda, coulda's at the moment. It's granted this bill is in its early stages, and it's being a bit misrepresented. Because it's
the basis of it. Like, why would you not give the child of gay people who you like legitimized and gave rights U.S. citizenship? I don't get it. What's the basis of it? Does not make sense.
You're starting to ask questions, and that scares a lot of Americans.
Questions?
So according to the article, there was an incident between two parents that had their password actually revoked momentarily, and it's being linked to the Trump administration and then a bunch of yada yada yada. As far as the basis, I can't clarify a basis yet. I can't identify a basis yet. This is something that is in its very early stages, and because it's being partially misrepresented, no
We
one
don't know
knows
what's
if it's
going
going to
on,
take
yeah.
off. They just know that it happened once, and because it happened once and they were able to trace back the loophole in the law that essentially made it possible for that to happen momentarily between this particular couple that's mentioned in the article, which is on the dailybeast.com, by the way, that people are linking this to a potentially catastrophic thing that could happen for citizenship laws here.
It's certainly odd. Like, I can think of nobody who benefits from this. And that's the weird part, you know? That's the part that confuses me. Okay, what party would benefit? What type of individual would benefit from passing this law? There's usually someone. But for this bill, it looks like everybody is either confused or is on the losing side. What, you're going to stop gay people from adopting? You can just tell them don't adopt.
No, here's the deal. It's I see sometimes when legislature is being passed, there's a bunch of spots that are skipped. Like there's a bunch of skipped steps, and so what ends up happening is they came after they wanted to revoke gay marriage,
Right.
and they wanted to revoke abortion, but they're not taking the proper initiatives to do it individually, state by state, which is typically how it's going to have to go down. So they took it to the national level, and now that's being fought and challenged, and it succeeded more than people thought it would, which is impressive. And now I see a similar pattern occurring with citizenship laws, because citizenship is a big talking point for the Trump administration for obvious reasons, right? The wall, right? And so like people see that as the olive branch that just keeps growing. Like Mexicans, Canadians, gay orphans, not even gay orphans that happen to belong to gay parents because the parents decided to choose them, not the other. What the fuck are we doing? I don't know. I laughed too. I did that, and then I ran out of. I realized that I had to actually talk on stream and not just laugh at it. And it's harder than I thought because no one knows.
Well, hopefully this gets expanded upon, because I'm now more interested in the Georgia bill. First, it was like, oh, cool, somebody's taking a stance. Finally, abortion is not limbo. You know, people are actually fighting over this, and it's good to see. Now it's, oh shit, this looks like scandal. This looks like something to mock. You know, this is interesting. So we're gonna definitely keep revisiting this topic, I hope.
Yeah, Toby the Nomad, to clear things up even more. If you look up the Daily Beast article about LGBTQ,
I'll just send the link in the chat. Quadruple.
It's
queers,
quadriplegic. Here's where I agree with you regarding the Georgia bill.
What is that?
It's just the Q. It's not even a word. It's just the Q. No, it's good to see, as far whether or not you agree with the Georgia bill, for example. It is good to see that something is actually being done, because regardless of people's views on it, they always wanted something to be decided upon. And a lot of people would argue that Roe versus Wade wasn't that decision. So the overlapping abortion bill. But a lot of people have obviously wanted the opposite, and because there's been that constant clash, there has just been the limbo that has existed for the latter part of a century now. So will that translate to this issue regarding gay marriage and the children of gay marriage, not the this is so weird to talk about.
It
Like,
is.
everything's coming out wrong.
I thought we passed this, and a way to revisit it is not this. It's
So what should we talk about next then?
all right.
What's
all
next
right,
on
sure.
the list?
All right, so um, equity laws, something to that effect. Again, that's a topic from you, Louis.
Did anyone else hear what Trillian said?
Equity? What's that?
Equity.
No, okay. Am I the only one that lagged and didn't hear that?
Yeah, probably you. Equity laws. Remember the one? Yeah, the second topic on your list.
So recently, standardized tests here have decided to imply what they call adversity scores. And they're going to attribute and attach this to profiles made for their test takers, depending on their backgrounds, their ethnicity, where they come from, their education level, their parents' education level, and everything in between. And what it is basically supposed to do is serve as another layer of affirmative action here in the States. Affirmative action, for those who are not aware, is basically, let's say Harvard has like a threshold of how many Asians they need to have versus how many whites they need to have versus how many blacks they need to have in the curriculum, and so on and so forth. If they don't meet those thresholds, the government comes for them. And so a lot of people have a problem with this affirmative action because let's say that you are a black person, but they already have enough black students. They won't take you based on merit. They'll take you based on this demographic. And Apple does a similar thing, right? When they put out that stupid diversity report every year, it's like, look how diverse we are, guys. Look how many different races we have working for us. It's 15% this and 10% that, and they go really in depth. Well, schools have to do that too. Universities have to do that. And now it's gotten to the point where it's getting lower and lower, to the point where it's to the standardized tests now. So the tests that you need, the exams to get into those schools, into university, are now being treated with a similar mentality. We are going to attribute different scores to people based on their adversity, the adversity that has faced them through life, just so the test correctors can take that into consideration as they're correcting little Billy's score here versus little Sally's over there. So let's say one person comes from quote unquote privilege and is, they come from a wealthy family, they come from a white family, they come from all the stereotypical like successful person here versus the stereotypical minority here. The minority is now going to get a score attributed to them that is going to take their background into consideration versus this other person's background. And this person might get an easier score attributed to them versus this person. So this person might technically have to work harder than this other person because they're taking into consideration what this person is going through at home or economically. And it is becoming a mess because now no one knows if it even matters to be smart anymore or to study, because if this person has to get like an 1800 score on an SAT versus this person has to get an 1100 score on the SAT just so they can both get into the same school, that's severely unfair.
Do you know what's unfair? When you get
Trillian's beard.
When you apply for the job and they tell you you're fat.
Context, Aziz. Context.
I think this fits perfectly.
Dude. Couple of days ago, I had a job interview. All right. Yeah. I studied everything about how to do interviews. I'm good with my major, so technical questions are no issues. I really worked hard for this interview, and uh, when the interview finished, they were impressed. Then my dad made some calls, and he called me back after the interview, after like 1 or 2 days from the interview, and he sounded worried. Aziz, I just got a phone call, and from his voice, his concerned voice, like, "Oh, Dad, did they refuse me? I did good. Why did they refuse me?" No, Aziz, they do like you. They really, really like you, but you're fat. Then my father snaps. I told you to diet, you fat ass. Go diet. And immediately, I changed my I changed my clothes and I go for a walk. I want this job before the physical test.
You're onto something here. There are studies about how uglier people don't get considered for jobs versus better looking people, and that includes weight and attractiveness.
Yeah,
No, no.
100%.
Yep.
For his particular job in the private sector, I assume being in proper physique is actually a requirement, or at least a very important feature. So even if you have a very talented individual, if they are physically lacking, let's say they can't walk too far, or weak boned and all those things, they can't be considered for the job. You need physical fitness to be like a requirement. However, this is very different from intentionally rigging scores to let minorities gain an advantage. I have a problem with this because what this test or what this bill is trying to do, I assume,
Hold that thought, Trillion. We're not done with Aziz's story yet. I have one more question. How did your dad know before you that was their issue with you? Like, they like you, but you're fat. Why didn't they just have the balls to call you directly and tell you that? Not saying it's the most,
Kuwait is small. Everybody knows everybody within a certain zone, and if you know who to call, you'll get the results you're not supposed to have.
So did they call your dad and not you to follow up on the interview?
No. My dad made a phone call for his cousin who works at the company, and he asks questions and whatnot. So yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I was not supposed to know that. But now I have the advantage of doing diet 2 weeks prior to the physical test.
Well, I'm only asking because there are people who put down their parents as references, and like jobs will actually call them. Employers will actually call their parents, and of course, the parents are always like, "Oh, he's wonderful, right? Like he does this and that," and then I would just love to hear that conversation. No, he's fine. It's just, like the physical test is in 2 weeks. Do you think he can,
I'm talking.
Then your dad's like, "Can you speed the fuck up? I'm on a phone."
All right, your son is a fair ass.
All right, I'm gonna put it simple for you. Your son has got to go for a walk every day until the next interview.
Cut the McDonald's, cut the fast food, eat a salad
with extra tomatoes.
Aziz, I can see your spirit dying slowly without having sugar.
Oh.
Dude, my spirit's dying just thinking about it.
I miss you, sugar. Nutella, peanut butter sandwich every morning.
Here's the thing, though.
I miss you with the coffee or with the milk. I miss you I miss you. But the money from the private sector, very delicious. American Idol.
I don't know what to say after that.
Listen, all I know
Attitude.
is that once he gets the paychecks from the private sector, he's going to be able to buy all the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches he wants.
Yes.
No, peanut butter and Nutella sandwiches.
Yes.
We don't deal with jam here. It's Nutella and peanut butter.
Yes. It's the superior one with a coffee.
It's the heaviest of them all.
Yeah, heaviest for you.
anyways, back
What were we talking about?
back to the topic at hand. Now, if you're trying to like fix the results in such a way that more people get represented out of the minorities, the question is, how many factors are you going to control for, and by how much amount? It sounds reasonable when you just say, "Oh, let's build a rocket," and just send it to space. Very simple. Just burn some fuel in a cylinder, and you should go to space.
No,
But
Trey,
no,
what are you talking about? Just build a rocket. Why can't we go back in time? Just build a time machine.
If you're
Simple.
homeless, just buy a house.
I love this.
That could be the
So-
meme of the year.
Yeah.
So, if like the question is not okay, should we help people out? The question is, how are we gonna use the controls? How do you control for which factor and how? Is the differences in do the differences in gender matter too? What if somebody's half Asian, half black? Does he get a double bonus? Like what? How do we control for this? Is there like a universal minority score? That's how I imagine it. And the only way I can see it making sense is that you give them like an artificial curve, like you raise them by 5% out of 100, and that compensates for their living standards or whatever the fuck. And even that, there's a lot of leeway into it. Who's eligible and who isn't? If you have a white father and a black mother, does your skin define who you are? Is it pay gap? There's a lot of questions and not enough answers for that. More importantly, the standardized tests are great and they're efficient and they work because they're easy to control across the whole country. You can get reproducible results everywhere, and it's easy. It's an easy unit for somebody to look at your academic score and know what you're about, or at least how you. They have a perverted image of that can be, persuaded left and right, and that's an argument for another day. Most importantly, if you want to help minorities, you don't give them an artificial curve. You go and help minorities. So,
why would you do that?
That's
What if
what
they,
makes you
what if
look
they
good.
talk to me?
But that's the only way to do it, right? Like, if you want black people to have more representation in colleges, don't let them live in the ghetto, which they are living in. Get them out of there. Or
How else are we gonna get the best rappers of our generation, though?
oh,
Trillion, you got this wrong. It what makes you, the company, look good. All right, so you take just 10% Asian because they're everywhere. So when you see Asian in a store, oh, Asians are everywhere. So 10% is enough. 30% black people because they're dark, they don't shine enough. So 30%, 40% is good. So they get recognized easily. Yeah. Then you get like 20% white people. That's enough. 10% Mexicans, or 30% Mexicans because they work hard. And that's about it. You know, it's
I mean,
about
But we're
what
also
makes
not.
you.
We're dark. We're not as dark as the black people, though.
wait.
Yeah,
Why,
no, you're bronze, so you technically shine. So we put you on the side.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
we
Why
don't
not-
need
Why
too
did I
many
say
of you.
we?
why
I'm
not put
not. I'm not Mexican.
Asian people work hard. They're dumb, but they work hard. That's why they pass all their fucking classes and shit.
But they're everywhere. You don't want your company 50% Asians, even 20% Asians. It's like they will be everywhere in your drawer, and they're everywhere. Just 10% is enough.
No. I have an idea. So you put about 10% Arabs in there, but they're not there. They're just on paper. And if anybody asks you where they are, you tell them they just kind of disappeared.
Excuse me.
The CIA took them.
The CIA took my mama.
It's like, yeah, just leave it at that, right? So everybody's happy, right? Everybody's holding
happy.
hands. It's like Justin Trudeau's cabinet. You know, nothing happens, but hey, at least it's 50% women.
Exactly.
you
You
go-
just
so-
need to put it on paper.
So when you go to the Apple store, perfectly balanced, like everything should be.
And it is. Go to an Apple store. At least I have to get a new phone. I went to the Apple store every time. I have to mentally prepare myself because I'm gonna get, one of these nerds is gonna come up to me and it's gonna be like, like over there we have we have two white nerds. Over there we have the two brown nerds, the two black nerds, the two female nerds, the two black female nerds, right? And they're all spread out, they're all scattered, and then you can walk over to whichever group you want to interact with, depending on how diverse you feel that day. That's how I imagine Apple stores, like they quantify that.
Dude.
Okay.
The one I'll
Sure.
take. I want to take 1 minute to promote this phone because the salesman inside me really want to promote shit that I really like. So Asus just released a new phone, the Asus Zenfone 6. All right, it's a $500 phone with the best processor in the market. $500 is considered mid-range phones or the mid-tier phones, so they normally use the processor of the mid-range phone, but they used the processor of the best flagship phones in the market. That's number one. Number two, it has a 5,000 milliampere battery. Your normal phone, my Samsung S7, for example, has 3,300. This thing has 5,000. It can last you for 2 days. And it has 6 GB of RAM, 128 gigs of internal data, and a micro SD slot. And it's all for $500. People, it's insane. Please go buy it. The problem with it is the camera is not that great if you're one of these Snapchatters. It's not gonna work for you, all right? So
That's a lot of play PUBG. Goddammit.
the Asus Zenfone 6. This thing is so incredible. Like it tingles all the tech inside of me, all of it. It's just.
But can it handle Candy Crush online?
Oh, that's a
Oh,
tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
You can
Now-
play level 100 on 60 FPS.
now that we got the sponsorship out of the way, let's get back to the topic at hand.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, Darkrai Q8, please.
So let me give you an example where equality sucked in Kuwait.
God damn it, we're
All right.
still on this?
No.
How many
This needs to be
segues
said.
have we had? How many
This needs
detours?
to be said. This needs to be said. So back in the day, once you graduate high school, there was a bias towards men going to college, and the idea is higher, middle, higher tier jobs like engineering, etc. The base that the employers want in Kuwait is male, so they only wanted the females who really wanted to work hard to get to the engineering or to any of these fields. So they wanted the best of the females and the above average males, because you need more of them. So everything was fine until one woman protested against this, cited equality, and she won. And so they got the scores down, and now scores are equally distributed. There's a problem. Girls in Kuwait tend to do way better at school than boys. And the reason they do that is because they sit more at home. That's just how the culture is wired. They don't go out as much, so they study and they work hard. And what happened is the people getting into college, into engineering fields, STEM fields in general, really, were increasingly female, which was fine until the 5 years or the 4 years and a half or the 4 years passed that is required for these courses to get a degree. You see, when the woman got hired, there are many things she wanted that the company cannot abide by. She wanted pregnancy time. She wanted lesser work hours. She wanted to work in office and not outside in the field. And what this turned out to be, what this unstudied decision did for the sake of PR, as Aziz said, what it ended up doing is forcing the government to give jobs to a core of their citizen base that do not produce any output. So you're literally just paying them to shut up. And that's putting heavy strain on the country, financially speaking. Where do you get all the money to actually pay for all these people that are coming in increasing quantities? Had they had lower tier jobs, at least the production efficiency makes up for some sort of thing or another. The fact that we're funding them to do work is important. But right now, an unstudied financial decision for the sake of equality and giving people the chance to rise above their classes and their minority stance led to simple stagnation and, frankly, disaster. So let this be a warning to the people of the States, for anybody who cares. You can be as equality and as PR-y as you want. Just do your studies. Do them well. Project, because you can screw an entire generation.
Well, we already have a generation that doesn't feel like it's worth working for anything. We have the entitled generation, which it goes to the millennials. We have my generation, the what's called Gen Z, which is going to, and basically everyone after 1997, who is going to have to essentially clean up the millennials' mistakes. And then we have just everyone else who's older who hates everything happening right now because they think we're all entitled.
I hate the generation's social theory. One, because it's social sciences, and if there is a pseudoscience around pretending to be part of like an actual research department, it's the social sciences. It's I swear the social sciences is just a bunch of people like YouTubers, but YouTubers get no credit because they don't have the name. They have a PhD. They're like, what if we divide people from the 2000s and down? Why? In what way? Well, there's a century between them. There's got to be a difference. What are the differences? Let's look. Oh, my kid likes PUBG. I guess that's a generation gap. Let's do some studies on generation gaps. And, they allocate budget for that. And that budget is like spent on like Cheetos. And then when it's time to do the research, they just kind of like puke some data and make up some stuff. And then Generation Z, it's people from above 1970s, right? And the differences is they're going to fix the things. It sounds like, like the guy who didn't read the book and is now trying to explain the book in front of the class. That's what social science is.
No, the only reason why generational theory is so fascinating is because there are people that take it seriously, and it is hilarious to hear their dissertations of it. This generation is different to this generation because X, Y, and Z.
I can't.
It just boils down to who cares. But
You're
I
being
mention
so
it because
You're being so Generation Z right now. I can't handle it.
I'm men-
And
I'm
it's
mentioning it.
fucking
I'm mentioning
annoying.
it because that's how people are mentioning the whole this whole standardized testing affirmative action situation is, well, the different generations have always needed different help in terms of, because college is becoming more expensive here, and therefore like certain sacrifices must be made, right? And but they still want to make it seem like they care about the minorities, like the lower class people. So they're like, well, you can achieve your dreams as long as you work hard and you study, but oh shit, they won't be able to afford it. Let's introduce this that these generations are going to love, and because of X, Y, and Z factor, they're just making stuff up. I know.
Dude,
But it's
dude, at this
fascinating because
point,
there is a whole consensus to the understanding.
dude,
It's like
at
their own
this point,
language.
the generations and the humanities. The humanities are so broken. The only answer I can give to how to fix it is, have you tried turning it off and then on again?
Never gets sold.
Well,
Also,
you don't like all the psychology courses in the
Oh,
humanities, the pseudo psychology courses.
let us not begin on the psychologists. Now, the people who study the brain and mental disorders and have an actual chemistry and physics and biology involved, let's put them on the side.
No, I have a bone to pick with these people, okay? These are the
All right.
same people that are getting rid of all these mental disorders in the books because they're offensive, right? There was a doctor that got fired because he named somebody who was not really transgender, but he was gender dysphoric, right? Gender dysphoria is a real thing. It's a true disorder. It is in the psychological mental health disorder book. There's a book
Right.
somewhere, right?
Yeah.
He got fired for that.
For being
For
accurate.
being accurate, for stating what he knows is gender dysphoria.
oh,
I have to look up this article now too. I have a bone to pick with these people that are going to begin to these decades of psychological research that actually mattered at one point going in, and now it's being reverse puked out because people are getting their feelings hurt.
Have I mentioned that Sweden is trying to ban Norse and Viking symbols because they represent white supremacists? And
What?
I couldn't believe it. I saw when I read the article, man, I could not believe it. Like Sweden, of all places, like
Sweden, they're trying to explore, to expand, to extrapolate the concept of I'm gonna fuck myself. Dude, right now, Sweden, Germany, and all the European countries are suffering from identity disorder, dysfunction, this whatever. They don't have Sweden people. They are decreasing by the year. What is the fix? Bring more Turks.
yeah, the Turks are in high demand in the flesh market.
dude. I Germany right now. It's not Germany. It's the Ottoman country. Germany, the Ottomans everywhere.
no, it's Aleppo number 3.
Yeah, dude.
What's the meme name for Sweden? Swedistan, right?
Yes,
Swedistan.
Yeah, like excuse us, people. Like, the Arabs are looking at Europe right now, and they're like, we don't want to intrude, but you guys are making it too easy. Like, we've been trying to get into Europe for like what, 1,000 years now, and now you're just like, opening your gates like some common whore,
Dude, imagine
Make us work
the
for it.
dude. They have no dude. Imagine the feeling of all the conquerors. Dude, what about my feeling? I conquered all Europe, and now you just open the door for everybody to come in. And dude, once you get the
globalization,
globalism, and once you get the German citizenship, dude, Turks get all the benefits because for each children you got or you have, the government supports you with 500 euros. That's about $800 a month.
A month.
A month. And who got that benefit? The Turks make all of them children.
Oh yeah, the Turks are not shy about, there's no. That's something you gotta love about the Arabs, right? Like they love their baby making.
Mm.
Like the term baby mama does not apply to the black people. It should apply to the Arab women.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Like
So it's
The-
basically the foster care system has reached Germany then, where people abuse, adopting a bunch of kids so that the government can pay them.
No adopting. You make them from scratch.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I'm making the analogy.
Yeah, fair
Like
enough.
it's
Yeah.
basically that same system, just so they can rely on the government to support their actual made kids.
Yeah, well, because
Mhm.
Germans are not porking each other enough. You know?
Yeah. Everybody's using what's they call it? A condom. Yeah, everybody's using a condom right now.
especially gay
Uh,
people.
Yeah, condom. It's very good for you not to get children.
Because again, having a child is a hard thing, right? And unlike the U.S., Europeans are actually smart, so they're like, oh shit, if I have a kid, I have to take care of him.
Dude, at least in the US, they don't give money for shit. Raising a kid in the US is really, really hard. But in Europe, 500 euros a month, that's a lot of money. That's a
Tell
lot
me
of money.
more about this condom
Yeah,
that
condom.
you speak.
Yeah, dude. Apparently, every Christian association who goes to Africa to introduce Christianity, welcome. We're gonna introduce you to our Lord and Savior Jesus, and this is a box of condom. Take it.
It's the magic formula.
Christianity 101. This is a Bible, and this is the condom.
When you go to the embassy of Germany and Africa, just go there. It's some places just give you Mentos. No, it's just a ball of condoms there.
Yeah, condom. Take condom. Yeah,
Um,
children's are bad. Take condom.
Okay,
Also,
Children
I-
are hard. Yeah,
Wait, give me a
I
second.
don't completely disagree
Yeah.
with
Wait,
the
I-
whole
I
just hand
wanna-
people a bunch of condoms.
Just imagine.
Yeah, Babushka?
Just imagine, just doing a random experiment, playing a little civilization with the real world. Throw 300 Bedouins or Saudi Arabians in Germany, and wait for 30 years. Look how much the population will grow there. Those people don't fucking chill. They're like rabbits.
4
Dude.
wives and 80 grandkids.
The Arab Muslim mentality, just to explain for people, not the Muslim mentality, the Arab Muslim mentality has always been overwhelm them by numbers, right? You bring one crusader, we bring 15, bitch, right? So Saudi Arabia is still stuck there, right? They're still in that mentality. A man's stature is defined by their wealth, how many wives they have, and how many kids they produced.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful just seeing, like, it's right across, like, the desert, right? I can look with a binocular, right? And I can see Saudi Arabia.
And you can see what a real man is supposed to look like.
Yep. And I'm like, ah.
Dude, if
It's beautiful.
if Saudi Arabia was a tribe still or a village, and they made an army, 70% of them will be retarded because they are famous for incest.
Oh, cousin marriages. Where are you at, Aziz? So,
Look out.
I will not have bullying. I will not tolerate it in my
no,
stream.
no, no, no,
No, no,
no, no,
no,
no.
It's not bullying.
Here, 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 here. So when Aziz
Alabama.
when Aziz decided to marry his cousin, he did testing, right?
The medical test. All of them sciences.
Right. But no test can ever save the Bedouins because they've been doing it for so long. The result is always don't fucking do it, but they do it anyway. They find a way. And you get retarded kids, kids with defects, kids with horrifying faces. And you look at the kid, I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Dude,
We couldn't prevent this.
yeah.
It's,
صباحية PTSD. هذا
F,
He's
F
going there.
for the kids, F for the kids. That's
Look,
all I gotta say.
F
Alabama.
for the kids. F for the kids.
Alabama.
Starts dancing
Alabama.
for Fortnite. Then no. Fuck the kids.
I want to know where more incest takes place, Saudi Arabia or Alabama.
It depends. Is it by how many people are doing it, or how often is it happening?
You think I've thought about this metric before? It was virtually a rhetorical question.
No, let's break this down. How big is Alabama?
Big enough. Or
Wait,
not.
wait.
If we're going to have this discussion.
Let me pull up Alabama.
How many cousins are there? Like, what's the ratio? Because you see, by quantity, I think Alabama doesn't win, but by how often they're doing it, I think so.
By how many cousin fucking jokes and sister fucking jokes are being made on a daily basis, my money's on often.
Well, here's the funny part. You guys find Alabama strange, so you make a bunch of memes about it. It's only a select number of individuals in our country and in Arabia in general that considers this weird. So it's like somebody saying, I took a left turn and to the drive-by in McDonald's and I ordered 2 Big Macs. That's what it sounds like to most people here. Just, this guy married his cousin. Oh, of course, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah. I married my cousin. You fucking normie.
Yeah, right?
You cannot wait, huh?
Because
it's easy.
The random marriages in the Bedouin culture, like most of them wear this niqab thing. Okay, and it's like you choose a cousin. You decide to marry her. You don't see her face until during the marriage or the ceremony.
The Bedouin tradition is horrendous.
Yeah, it's like a scratch and win. It's like a fucking lottery. You have to stick with this person for the rest of your life. Not only that, you have to pay for the what's the thing, Aziz? The dowry.
The dowry, yeah. So you pay for the dowry. You don't know whether your wife is actually presentable, much less whether you're compatible with her. And the Arabs or the Arab women and the parents wonder why so many of this generation goes to Thailand.
Where's Abby?
Now, I hope, Louis, I don't have to explain what happens in Thailand. I hope, because
I've watched The Hangover. I know what happens in Thailand.
Right? So, again, not all Kuwaiti and Arabic cultures like this. This is a very particular many, but a very segregated part, because as I always say, Kuwait especially is much like the US when it comes to how many cultures and different sources of origin we have. We're all over the map. So a good portion, like 60-70%, is of Bedouin origin, and some of them have moved past that and civilized, if we're going to use that term.
Of course.
But a lot of people are still stuck there. And a lot of people are like, it's 2019, they should be beyond this. But what they don't understand is that tribal mentality is like embedded in those people's DNA. It's like we're talking 1,000 years of human evolution embedded in this area of the world. It's like the caste system in India. It's very hard to remove from the culture, at least fluidly.
Let me put that in a context, in a story. Um, how bad is the blind marriages are? Like, arranged marriages are bad enough, but the blind marriage are the worst. Blind marriages are the worst. Imagine the groom and the wife, then they don't see each other until the banging day.
Very accurate professional terminology.
The banging day. Yes. So, all right, that's that. This story happened to my cousin's friend, who he's about to get married. He quit smoking. He did his jogging. You know, physique is important. Eh?
Did he have an interview for the marriage? Is that why? Did he get a call from his dad?
Oh, dude, interview for marriages. This is coming next. Dude, I have something good for you. All right.
What?
Yeah, it's coming next.
I
It's
know.
coming next.
I think I know. I'll just be
coming
quiet.
next. It's coming next. All right. So this guy, he did, you know, he better himself, quit smoking, you know, went to mosque, prayed some, and everybody was, and he's confiding to my cousin, like, I'm nervous. I did not see her before, and I don't know what to do. And my cousin's trying to help him. Okay, just calm down. It will pass. Try your best, I guess. And
try your best guessing what she looks like in your head before you're banging.
yeah,
I guess.
imagine the worst case scenario, right? You know, duck face, or you know, frat face, or whatever you're gonna get. Just keep your hopes down. One day after the marriage, he shows up to work. Every button is up. Fuck me, fuck my father, fuck my mother, fuck especially my sister. She told me she was pretty. Fuck her twice. And 2 cigarettes at one time. Fuck me, fuck your life, fuck Bedouin, all of them. Fuck my father, fuck my sister twice. She told me, my mother my mother told me she was pretty, and she looks like you. Pointing at one ugly man. Dude,
You never trust your mother, man, when it comes to, oh, she's pretty. Your mother will call every girl that you're talking to pretty just because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
They described her as Angelina Jolie.
Bruh. No.
I don't know what the standard for beauty is, but that's why I know.
They described her as Angelina Jolie after 24 Snapchat filters. I bet 100 KD on.
All right. So this is how tough blind marriages are. It brings a lot of it what shut up the divorce ratio percentage, whatever, in Kuwait because of the blind marriages. It's tough. It's tough for the Bedouin people. I feel for them. It's blind marriage is not in our culture. It's in their culture. It's not. It's forbidden in the religion. Blind marriage is forbidden in the religion. The Prophet says, "Go
Don't do it.
Don't do it. See her before you get married." It's in plain text.
Interpretation, that's hard.
Yeah, this is what exactly one religious guy said in his family. Yeah, don't worry about it.
One guy was like, yeah, you know, you do it. Like Oprah, everyone's doing it.
And marriage interview, Louis. Let's segue into this marriage interview. You know, when you want to get married in Arab land, you have to get interviewed. They have they ask about you. You, dude. First thing, all right. your mother and her mother, they oh, mama, I like this woman. I want to get married to her. She's like, okay. The mother goes to the mother, and we like to take the hand of your daughter, or whatever they say.
That's
And then
as for your daughter's hand, yeah.
yeah, ask for the daughter hand. I say, okay, we'll think about it, and they start making calls. Is this guy a smoker? No. Is this guy go to mosque? Does this guy go to Thailand? No.
They do like a background check.
Background.
They know you better than you know you. You know,
Yeah,
they'll know everything you did, who you talked to in college, everything.
I got a phone call. Aziz, do you know this guy? Of course I know him. He's my friend. We'll try. He want to get married to my sister. Is he good? Okay, please don't include me into this. I don't want to talk bad about that guy. Okay, I told him plainly, I'm not gonna talk. You ask me the question, I will say yes or no.
True or false questions only.
Yeah, true or false only. Then you go to the interview. You meet the woman first, so you get to know her. Like first time you talk and she talks, and everybody's listening from upstairs. You know, they have maybe some spying ware inside, listening to you, what you're saying, and 90% of the time you're like this. I like reading. Pretty. Yes. What's your favorite car?
To put things into context, a lot of people in Kuwait culture, not all, but a good amount, their first real interaction with a female outside their family is this moment. Right?
That says a lot.
Right? So imagine, for you Americans out there, imagine when you were 10 and you went to the school playground and there was a girl there. And assuming you were in a fully male house, you know, except for your mother, you'd be like, what is this thing? Is it me? Is it like me? Does it do the cooties? You know? And then she talks, and because you're 10, you're getting there, right? You get this weird jitter, and you're like, hi, right? This is happening to a person who's like 20, while sitting to a fully presentable female that most likely, if this goes well, be his suitor in the future for the next God knows how many years.
Yeah, so she gets ready. She's attractive.
Yep.
She's presentable. Yeah. No, it sounds
overwhelming.
Chloe's face. Dude, you have to use that moment for the thumbnail. Your face was on point.
It's sad for me to cut this topic.
I have this vision though that a lot of people just show up with like, because the worst part in an interview is running out of things to say. So I just have this vision of the guys, especially, they show up with like a note card, and the reason they look down is because they're looking at the card. Okay, I already hit that one. I did that one. Flip it over. What's your favorite animal? No, that one was stupid.
Stupid.
I want to be like.
No, one more story before we go. This is good though. One more story. Sorry, Trillion.
Okay, so, this is not. Hold on, one sec. I want to say this. Imagine the guy who's doing the interview, like, you know, you have to talk to the female, is a conspiracy nut. What do you think of the inflation and the current fiat money currency in the States? Oh, no.
I want that to be the first question. Hi, what's your name? What's your thoughts on 9/11? Who do you think? Do you believe in the Illuminati? Your answer will determine whether you're my suitor or not.
Yep.
The moment the moment I really knew that we were like my wife is gonna stick with me for a long time is
Your
this
cousin was
moment.
the one. Yes.
Yeah, my cousin. Yeah. First, then after that interview, you start going out with each other, for restaurants and whatnot. Go drink juice on the beach or whatever, something romantic. All right. So
Nothing says romance like juice, ladies and gentlemen.
all right. So since I'm a very shy person, everybody know that. When-
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
When
shy.
I talk to my wife, I don't use because in the Arabic language, there's a male term and female terms like he and she for everything. Like
In Spanish
everything.
too.
Yeah, in Spanish too, it's the same thing. So, and I'm really not used to like talking with women that much. So I use the one that for the plural, like how are you? How are you? They.
Oh God. Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
It works better in Arabic. Just take out our
It
term.
works better in Arabic. Yeah, it. And at one point, she said, all right, why do you talk in plural? Like I'm in front of you, nobody's here. And I froze for a moment, and just the true Aziz appeared for a second, and I said, "Do you know the reincarnation theory?" I was like, "Oh shit!" I said it, and she was like, "What?" Yeah, I said it. True Aziz just appeared for a second and came back. Do you know reincarnation theory? Yeah, I used to be maybe I say that because I used to be a Japanese prince at some time, other time. So because Japanese princes used to talk in plural as a matter of greatness. So you don't say I, you say we. We are great. We subscribe to we.
I must ask this question.
Wait,
Now
that's the communism term. God damn it!
Yeah, same thing. So it was so lame, and I said it, and she was like, "Yeah, it's so lame," and she rolled with it, and I survived. Yes, marriage successful.
Okay, I have to ask. They say that marriage over time pulls out the true nature of people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when they decide if they really love each other. Has the real Aziz been allowed into the house yet?
The Adam Milah Aziz, you mean?
Yes.
Because two separate
Does she know
entities.
that Aziz yet?
No, but she does not know that Aziz yet. I told her
Oh,
to watch the stream, bluffing. Hey, go watch the stream. We're very civil. No, it's 3 hour stream. I don't want to watch it. No.
We're lost.
Yeah.
Now,
Like, look,
as fascinating as this topic is,
Oh.
I want to transition before we run
come
out
on,
of time.
I'm sorry.
And since we are on the topic of cousin marriages and family love, let's talk about the Game of Thrones finale.
Oh, oh, stop it. Stop it with Game of Thrones. Just let it die in peace.
It's the finale.
It will
We have
After the dagger that we give it.
All right.
Like-
I'm just gonna lay there here.
Okay, so Louis, I'll let you start. Let's give you the lead here.
Uh, where do I begin? Are we talking about the season or just the final episode?
Oh, both. Go ahead. Say your
Oh.
piece.
I think season 8 was the clear indication that the writers gave up on the show. But I'm gonna keep it civil first. They clearly rushed it. They clearly don't care, or they clearly had other priorities like the Star Wars gig. So they decided to focus on that as opposed to finishing Game of Thrones properly. An update on the petition. It's reached 1.5 million now. And I think that says enough of a statement. All the actors, all of the writers, the crew, they're all aware of it. But the only ones that deserve to feel bad about it are D&D, Dumb and Dumber, which is a term I've fallen in love with. They denied HBO's extension for episodes, for budget, for multiple seasons. And now they have this catastrophe, this crime against humanity that is Game of Thrones season 8. And Trillian, I'm honest to God, I'm trying. Fuck. I'm trying to be honest with you. I can't get it out. I don't know what I want to say anymore. It's so.
All right. I'll say my piece then. Maybe that warms you up.
It was bad, people. It was bad. It was so bad. I can't tell you how bad it was, because it would just send me into a spiral of clinical depression again. I've never seen no fall from grace. It's the same thing as I've said before. They mess with characters. There's no real payoff. There's no fulfillment in the way the story. Everything feels rushed, bland. I'm being so broad, and it hurts.
All right. Let me put more flavor on the meat here. You know how Endgame was this cultural phenomenon where everybody's like, this was our Star Wars, right? This is going to be the thing we're going to tell our children in the future, the pop culture we followed, the thing we loved, right? I think the Game of Thrones, will be taught in cinematography schools in the future on everything that you do right and everything you do horribly wrong. And the journey of Dumb and Dumber, from David and Dan to Dumb and Dumber, will be studied as one of the biggest flops out of the biggest highs in the history of TV. Not only that, I think future depictions of this event will not compare it. Like, you know what? People who did Star Wars Episode 4, the prequels, we thought we were going to feel the way they felt in the middle of the season. After it, even them, there's like, this is new. This is new territory. They upped the game. The gore has increased. Truly, in true HBO fashion, we have never seen something this horrifying on TV. And everything unites in a comment you told me about, Louis, in the HBO comments. They told us this is going to be a bittersweet ending. I got the bitter, still waiting on the sweet, though.
A baked as fuck guy on a wheelchair becomes king. That's the sweet ending in their mind.
They
Bran being king
his name is named after fucking cereal, Bran.
Bran being king is fine. Bran is a very important character in the books. They did nothing in the show for him except give him the chair, right?
Dude, what?
And now he gets to be king. Hooray! Crippled rights, crippled power.
Yeah, eat. I'm retarded, partially.
Who was it that said they were going to break the wheel and then the series ends on a wheel or two? Look, there was a lot of talk about whether the last season of Game of Thrones was worse than The Last Jedi, because there's that comparison being made right now. I think it is. I actually think it was.
Nothing is
And
worse
the reason
than Rogue One. Nothing is worse than Rogue One. Literally, everyone dies.
No, I think D&D will break your expectations on that. They're gonna kill Star Wars next.
No,
here's
the deal though with the reason I give the edge in better quality, not by much, but in better quality to The Last Jedi, is that everyone involved in The Last Jedi tried.
Yeah.
And they flopped. It was terrible. They backtracked, they damage controlled, they did everything you would expect, but they tried. They actually took it seriously. I can't believe for a second that D&D actually took this season of Game of Thrones seriously. I can't believe it. I actually I've watched the episodes. I've watched each one twice. It hurts me more each time. I cannot for a second actually convince myself that they wanted this to end legitimately. And then the interviews that are just multiple slaps in the faces, that the interviews at the end of the episodes inside making the episode, right? The behind the scenes image.
Behind the scenes. Comedy sketches.
It's all meme material. Exactly.
No, like, I think we've reached Martha levels of bad in the finale episode.
Oh, I think it's worse.
Yeah, like I think D&D were like, I think we've earned our spot in history when they were in season 4. Now let's see what we can get away with, and they got away with it. They have Star Wars now.
No. Okay. They got away with it up to season 7. Season 8, people will never let them forget.
Yep.
Star Wars, I have a feeling they'll do a similar thing. I have faith that if they know what they're doing with source material, and Star Wars has a lot of extra canon source material lying around.
They can't. Nope. I refuse. You know why I refuse?
To believe that they'll actually do a good job and then, go downhill over time.
Yeah, because of the stigma. Here's the thing. If Picasso rubs a bit of brush on a canvas, people call it genius. But if Miley Cyrus does it, no matter how good it looks, she's a dumbass. So, those subtle touches they put in the finale that they think to them it was super intelligent. Oh, the dragon burning the Iron Throne, not killing John and flying away to I don't know, Valeria or whatever. All those subtleties that people would consider to be, had it been under a better producer or a better reputable producer, genius or flavors and the peppering of art, they would see it as dumb. I think this project is doomed from the start. They didn't think it was going to be this bad, but it turned out to be the backlash. And I think anything they touch will always have that stigma, no matter what they do.
And you know what? They deserve it. You don't start something that has gained so much cultural, phenomenal respect and end it like that. It's clear they did not take it seriously. Like I said, I cannot look at that product and say the writing was taken seriously. I can believe the actors, because the actors were what pulled me through.
They did their best. God bless them. They did a good job.
But the best actors in the world cannot save a terrible script. We've heard this from multiple people. We've heard this from directors. We've heard this from producers. At the end of the day, this season of Game of Thrones proved that writing is 90% of the job. I won't say it's everything, but it's certainly the majority.
Yep.
Because I've never seen so many people actually care about in some sense, this made me have faith in fan bases because they took it seriously. Right? They looked at what was happening, and even the casuals decided, this is shit. I actually care about the casuals, which usually just care about pretty colors and explosions and the Michael Bay-ness that Game of Thrones turned into. They cared about the writing. I almost shed a tear. I almost shed 2. One for the show and one for out of happiness. I was proud. People care about the writing again. It's not just about, and this is my point. Game of Thrones, over time it deteriorated naturally, but it was that smart show. It eventually became the show that dumb people watch to feel smart because it got introduced into the mainstream. But Game of Thrones had a great foundation. It was a smart show because the books are smart, or at least they treat the reader as such. Season 8 is a spit in the face. That's the only way I can describe it. There's so many things wrong with it. I've ranted multiple times on it. It is in the past 3 streams have been individual episodes. It's
now that we've put this nail in the coffin, I want to spit on something, and Aziz, maybe you want to join me on this. And again, it's related to a company, and it's related to a bitch ass company that I want to talk about Amazon Prime. All right, the piece of donkey dicks. You know, excuse my French. That is Amazon Prime.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We bought Amazon Prime, right? Family package, because who wants to pay extra? Let's do the Netflix trick.
Hold on, before you go on, let's hold on. Before you go on, let's clarify this.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime has to be one of the most simple practices imaginable, initiated by a company. You pay a little bit extra so that you can get free shipping, and usually it's 2 days.
That turned
How-
into
No.
like
How do they mess that up?
you cannot imagine how messy this thing is. We open Prime, we're excited. We get Audible, we get some shows. Let's see what this is about. Dude, we fucking took Prime for a year. We were that confident, right? And I open a random TV show. Like, none of these look good. This is weird. All right, we'll click this one, right? We clicked on it, and get this. The first episode is for $4, $3.99, and the rest are free.
Wait, what? I didn't know about that. I saw you confused, but I didn't know about that. What the actual fuck?
I shit you not. The first episode, you needed to pay for the pilot, and the rest are free. We clicked on the second. We watched a little bit. I'm like, we don't care. We're not paying $4. Let's just see.
You can watch the show on fucking YouTube. You can watch the first episode on YouTube and just continue with it. Why pay for the first fucking episode?
Ridiculous, right? And then we open Audible. Prime is supposed to give you Audible. Apparently not. We get two free audiobooks and 2 Netflix originals. That's what's free.
2? You get 2 free audiobooks. That's it?
And 2 Netflix originals.
Bro, there are YouTubers and Twitch streamers that give you more Audible books with their creator codes than Prime.
Because it says Audible is for free, all of it. You have free access to Audible. This is what we understood from the contract. And apparently not. You just get the basic Audible offer. And that's it.
Yep.
Which is basically log in.
Yeah,
Yep.
they just log in into Audible.
Fucking shit.
It's horrible. Dude,
So
it's horrendous. It's horrible.
it was so bad, we immediately asked for a refund. We explored this for about half an hour.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, this is impossible. This is impossibly bad. Amazon is a big company. What are you abusing your employees for then?
Screw the employee. Forget about the employees. Why are they abusing the consumers?
No, it's like you have the resources to make this good. I personally thought Amazon Prime was like a competitor to like Netflix and Hulu, except with audiobooks. I thought really it was a primary contender, and I was excited to see what they're going to provide me. Nothing. That's what they provided me. Nada. Sport documentaries. That's what's for free on fucking Amazon.
Oh, of
Dude,
course.
Amazon Prime is so racist. It's so fucking racist. We here in Kuwait, we pay the same amount you guys pay, and most of the show are not accessible to us because of our region.
Yeah.
We cannot
region
access
block.
Vike. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, region. It's not region block. You cannot access the show because you're not in the US. You're not in the country of the bald eagle.
No, I think the main reason for that.
Give us a free VPN. Like, just give us a free VPN.
At least give us a cheaper price for all the products we cannot like get access to. This is so dumb. And by the way, we are using the Prime. We cannot use the Prime shipping all the time because not all this because a lot of stuff we order is from Amazon International, and Prime does not support Amazon International.
Yep. So we don't
use
even
the Prime
get the
for very specific like uses. So the Prime shipping is not our main concern with the Prime thing. Like the other benefits, and they all suck shit.
Now, there is one last thing, one last insult Amazon did to me personally. So after we, got the refund, we got we were bitching about it, telling everybody who would listen just how bad Amazon Prime is, and now we're doing it here, right? I click on I wake up today and I'm like, okay, let's open up my email, check and clean out everything, this, daily check-in, right? And I check my email, and what I see is Amazon sending me a promotion, which they do. And what is the promotion on? Up to 50% off romance manga.
You weeb.
I've never ordered any Japanese product from Amazon in my life, right? Yet
Well, you're about
this is
to.
this is I feel
But-
so
That's
dirty.
because you ordered the Witcher books. That means you are. Yeah.
Means you are
So-
also interested in this product.
How is that related?
Oh.
Bro, I refuse. I know what you're doing, Aziz. I refuse.
You is a fucking weeb, mate.
Hey. All the weeb.
Yeah, Trillion, I
That
thought we
beard.
evolved from the anime law. Why are we going back to this weeb shit? How much shoujo manga have you been buying behind my back?
Amazon did it. I swear I am absolvent of this. Dude, you think you will escape this? They framed me. Now they're gonna frame you.
Dude, let them frame me. I'm a self-proclaimed weeb. I like
Dude.
anime.
I hope
Then
Leon
Mangu?
does not win that skin.
No, please don't do it.
No. Very important. Don't
So did you
get
buy it?
Amazon Prime. No, we refunded it immediately.
No, the manga.
No, fuck you. How dare you?
No.
How dare you even ask that question?
I'm just
He
assessing
bought it
the
secretly.
situation critically. What was the name
Like-
of the series by chance? I'm asking
Um,
for a friend.
Actually, let me look up the email.
Oh, you're laughing.
Domestic girlfriend. Kaka ka fu kaka. What the fuck?
What is it called? Domestic
Oh, oh.
girlfriend?
What?
Oh, it's the second thing that pops up on the search result.
What?
Oh, this doesn't look good.
Is it Khalid Tir?
This
That's
looks
it?
problematic.
I won't click. I won't click. No, I refuse. Let me close the email. There you
This
go.
looks like a hentai that hasn't been finished.
You know, they need to think about it. They need to organic process the manga.
Okay, I want. Actually, this is a good transition for a topic you suggested, Louis, which is what we dubbed the crush
Hold on, I'm
wars.
busy now.
Oh God.
The crush wars, Louis.
The crush what? Mm.
The
Louis.
crush wars.
The what'd you say?
He was going through.
I was
them,
doing research, is what I was doing.
with the anime
My-
titties, huh?
Wars.
Infidel, Game of
All right,
Thrones
all right.
style, huh?
This actually is a great segue. Anyone who's been on
Now
Twitter
you're looking
the past
so
couple of days
sexy.
has probably seen certain hashtags about certain crushes that you had. A lot of these have to do with fictional characters. I think it started out fairly respectable. It started out with the typical who's your celebrity crush, who's your your actor crush, your actress crush. It evolved, and then people had to get weeby with it.
Oh no.
And it started even more humble still, right? It started with my first cartoon crush. This is all hashtags, by the way. Hashtag my first cartoon crush. Hashtag my first cartoon animal crush. And then it eventually worked its way down to my first hashtag anime crush. And it got to the top of the results for a day, for a couple hours.
Welcome to the anime law. Respect is the suggestion. It's the circle of life. You go back to this.
No, it's like
there are so many things wrong with this, though. People just couldn't leave it alone. The weebs especially. Anytime they get a chance to be semi-included in a situation, they just overtake it, right? They're like that friend that is walking by a group of people and he kind of overhears a conversation and is like, "Ooh, I can be a part of that." And he hops in and tries to take over. Hey guys, what did I miss?
Even better. Even better. So, you're meeting this, guy. He's in class. He's new. You're talking, making conversation. Blah 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 blah. I watch, say, Naruto, right? And you see the sparkle in his eye, and you're fucked. You're done. And suddenly, headbands and manga books, and just overwhelms you, right? And you don't have the heart to tell him, fuck off, right?
Because you're all he has.
Yeah, like you can see hope shined again. His mother probably beats him and calls him a loser.
Threw away his body pillows.
And he can't wait to wear the Naruto hoodie with you now, and you can tell all he wants right now is to be with. All he wants is to be your friend, and that's the reason you can't add. That's why weeps suck. It's not that their content is bad. Like Korean shows, their content is bad. God forbid the African shows, they're horrendous, right? Indian, like Bollywood is horrifying bad, but they don't have what the weebs have, which is their terrifying nature to just leech on your interest until there's no more interest.
It's that shameless, unapologetic passion that they have to instill in everything. And they just have to be the center of attention, right? Everything else, all the other hashtags were like, they were making the rounds, but you still had to search them. Yep. You signed into Twitter a couple days ago, and that was the top result. Over politics, over the abortion bills, over everything that was happening in the world. Over Sweden and their Viking laws, those fucking... Ugh.
A lot of...
Like, they couldn't leave it alone. It's like they saw the outlet, and they came in. They took over. They conquered the interwebs for a couple of hours to show that anime fans exist and they have power.
And my problem with anime fans, this stems from experience. Like,
oh no.
That I like anime, all right, but you don't see me wearing like this is my anime waifu right here. You don't see me wearing this.
Body pillows.
I don't see my background, the anime wife, but right now it's my daughter because I'm a good father. Right? But anime fans they're they rub it into your face. Like your anime, I don't care, but don't rub it in my face. Like one certain guy, he opens his phone in the mosque, and you see Tracer background.
The Overwatch girl?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. All right. And one time, because you see me, I'm a salesman. I recommend phones to people. So a lot of time we get duplicate phones, even the same case. All right. So I went to
say hi
to the brothers and sisters. Samsung S7. All right.
I'm different.
So I went to a restaurant with my cousin, whom I have the same phone as, So we finished the restaurant. I picked up the phone and put it in my pocket. And I went back. My brother was driving. I was in the passenger seat. And I pulled up my phone. I was, okay, who sent me a message? And I opened the phone. And immediately I bitch screamed, ah! And I swear to God, I shit you not. It was Erza from Fairy Tale with the no armor.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Like, why would you put the no armor Erza on your phone background, whom your mother sees on a daily basis? That guy, he sit near his mother and he opens his phone, and the no armor Erza with all her glory pops up, and his mother, I can see her death inside her eyes. Shabab. Youth.
Just like I failed. I have failed as a mother. God
Yeah.
forgive me.
Speaking of questionable life decisions, Louis, how's that Rebbe figure treating you?
Why is everything just hating on me today?
Another prime example is you and your Revi figures, your Revi mangas. All right, I watched Black Lagoon.
Welcome to the
Dude,
dojo.
Dude, I watched Black Lagoon. The least interesting characters was Levi. She's like the 2D, no background. So, like your heroine, she's badass and that's it. Oh, she got raped. Berserk syndrome. Welcome.
To the Ikhwan law.
I went to go get the figure. I went to go get the figure, and I remembered.
We are back, baby.
I went to go get welcome to the dojo, all the good stuff. I went to go get the figure, but I will not let you bait me into being one of you. I won't have it. I will not add to this predicament.
That's perfect.
Okay.
I will not be a statistic in this epidemic. I am here to save the internet, not to further it into darkness.
All right. Let's transition to the last topic on the agenda. All right. Yes, a topic that's dear to my heart, and I personally think PowerPoint is the death of learning.
Oh, shut up. This is your big life dilemma, really?
Yes. Yes. And here's my argument. For presentations, it's fine. You know, businessmen, you want to tell them a rough sketch of the business, fine. Use PowerPoint. All power to you. But everybody's teaching with PowerPoint these days. Kuwait's education system right now is built upon PowerPoint presentations.
Yes.
There is no longer a whiteboard. No, there is. They just don't use it. They use just the PowerPoint slides. And right in the next page, the equation becomes this. And to me, this is disaster. This is death. This will end our society. As far as I'm concerned, it's as scary as influenza, and should be purged.
Microsoft Office PowerPoint has stopped working. Okay, guys, class dismissed.
No. I have an argument for this, and you guys can pitch in. Though you guys don't seem too interested or as passionate.
How nice of you to invite us to talk in a stream. Beautiful.
No, listen. It's not enough that people are getting notes right now instead of writing shit down, which is how information gets retained. Now they have to absorb PowerPoints. Every time I had a class in college with PowerPoint, I slept, and I did horribly in it. And some people try to redeem it by writing notes in the PowerPoint, but the even more cancerous people print the slides, right? And then they just read the slides. You're creating a generation of dumb people. Louis, you are people of the States. You guys are already dumb. Imagine what happens if you add PowerPoint to that shit.
Here's the difference between you and us, though. You haven't gotten used to the PowerPoints yet. We have learned to adapt to the PowerPoints. And then, you still have the dumb people. It's a dumb method, but you have the smarter people that can still overcome it and learn in their own pace. But you have the dumb people that are just going to surrender to it and, tough luck. Oh, you guys have a long way to go before PowerPoint begins to sink in. We've gotten used to it. It doesn't work here, but it's the way now.
Burn it, please. Somebody hear my cry. Burn PowerPoint.
For me, PowerPoint, like a lot of people, when I started doing YouTube, a lot of people recommended for doing thumbnails on PowerPoint. And I started doing it, and it was simple, but it was horrible. It was disgusting, and everybody is making me go away from Photoshop. Photoshop, it's hard. It's the beast. It's if you're not an editor, don't use Photoshop. And one day I met a black messiah, and he told me, "This is BS, man." Kun Lun told me, "This is BS, man. Just appropriate this Photoshop from the internet." And I did. And it's so simple. It's better. And PowerPoint is just horrible. And for me, my experience was like horrible thumbnails. Right now,
no. You know what? You know where the information that Photoshop is bad and very hard? I bet somebody learned that from a PowerPoint presentation.
Exactly.
I bet. I'm gonna
PowerPoint is so dude. PowerPoint is so bad, and when you see the people who invest in the the motions, the flipping words, and oh god, like just no.
You want to know the saddest part? Here in the States, you have to learn it in order to get by. You have to learn how to present with it, and people still don't know how to use it. The reason I personally detest PowerPoint is because people don't know how to use it. There is a correct way to use PowerPoint. I'm not saying it should be the norm, but there is a way to present PowerPoint properly. We already went over the business example, charts, graphs, bullet points.
Just quick.
It's very simple. It should be very blunt, very, very simplistic, right? The bare minimum on a PowerPoint slide, and a person who's talking does the job, which is talking.
And points,
there are
right?
people that put entire novellas on PowerPoints and they expect you to take notes. There are professors that do this.
Yeah, they force us to. Yeah.
There needs to be training for this at the very least. Like, if this is the future, I don't agree with it, but at least save the poor children that are eventually going to have to grow up with this.
I don't know. You know what my favorite is? My favorite PowerPoints are when the instructor tells you to print his PowerPoints, right? And then he has a problem in one PowerPoint slide, and in the next slide there's a blank page, and what he expects you is to write on that blank page. You know these people? Like, he has the solution, but the version you have access to is an empty page. And
no, it's even dumber than that. How about the people that just print out the same PowerPoint slides that are on the screen that the teacher has, right? How stupid do they think we are?
That's how they get you. They say the exam will be from the PowerPoint. And as far as everybody's concerned, well, there goes the textbook. Just get the PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, save the monies.
Save the money. You just print it somewhere, and if you're cheap like me, you print every four slides together because you don't care, right? And you just have like a 5-page chapter of PowerPoint slides, and you just like slide through them before the exam because it's so stupid that I don't use it. I just like go off memory in class, but that's the only thing I have access to. And I swear to you, I don't remember anything from those classes. Granted, I have a shit memory, but I remember things from classes. It's bad. It's horrifying. I cannot express this enough.
It,
Well, good.
yeah.
I like how people. The moment we mentioned anime, I like how the people in the comments are
Oh yes,
fantasizing about the anime law.
it's like they're
Anime
waiting
law
for
is
the
dead. Anime law is dead.
like,
Now we have the torch to grind.
guys in the comment section. No offense, but you know the example of the anime weeb that the second you mention anime, he brings out everything and starts talking. That's you
That's
guys
you.
right now. That's you guys. Congratulations.
Let's make this clear. Listen, nerds, we have never had cared for the sanctuary of our comment section. Okay, we read it and we address it. But as soon as you guys get on some bullshit, we will call you out on it. You weebs need to turn it down. You're at an 11 right now. I'm gonna need you to take it down to a 2.
Check the names. Toby the Nomad, Zachary Sayin, whatever
He has
that is.
saying in his name.
Like,
Look at this weeb called Hamoud. Who calls himself Hamoud?
حمود XD عجيب 1 2 3.
hello, Hamoud. How does it feel to be next to the waves?
No, okay, I have to address this comment though. We were talking about PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
Malik Sanka says Prezi is good.
What the hell is Prezi?
Prezi is like the fancier PowerPoint.
Oh,
There's
the
a whole
hipster PowerPoint.
I don't know if that's what you call it. I classify it as like you can always tell who the tryhards are in class if they pull out a Prezi. You know, most people stick to Google Docs or Microsoft PowerPoint. If somebody pulls out a Prezi, you know they worked way too hard on their project. It's not that serious. Prezi is not good is not the word I would go for. It's definitely intuitive, kind of. It's excessive. It's too much. Like PowerPoint doesn't need to be that fancy. It's the program that gives you all the slides, and then you can do all these effects where like it goes from like you have like a background of the galaxy of space, right? And one slide is like a planet and the other slide is like another planet, and like from slide to slide it just like transitions. That's what Prezi is. And it's too much. I'm not saying you're wrong to like it. I just like why?
Every PowerPoint slide I've ever made has always been like a white background with the whatever default font they've put.
Generic.
Yeah, some pictures from Google Images, and that's it. You know, that's a slide. Next, and
It's basically some teachers here will actually grade you on the aesthetics of your PowerPoints. So if you don't decorate it,
okay. US, you've gone too far. All right, sending your ships here, I'm fine with it. Invading Afghanistan, fine. Helping the Jews, I can take it. But grading for PowerPoint aesthetic, that's too far, right? I can't take
it
that.
happens. Oh, it's a real thing.
Oh
and it's
my
as high
God.
as college here.
No. The world is a horrible place.
There is one professor I had who, and it was a psychology course, naturally. She wanted us to learn from the PowerPoints directly. So what she did, and she wanted everyone to make an individual presentation. So what everyone's final was, which she would give you a chapter from the textbook individually. She would send it to each individual student. So like one student gets chapter 1, another student gets chapter 2, another student gets chapter 3, and so on. And she would send you the custom PowerPoints that she made for that chapter, and you would have to recreate it in your own liking. So you would have to redecorate it and paraphrase the information that she previously originally already paraphrased from the textbook. And you would have to
the new abstract, is that it? You know,
It's the new disaster, is what I call it.
oh, you know, my fasting is hanging by an inch. All right.
Just imagine. No, take a drink of water. Come on. It's a basic biological function you need, right? But here's the deal, right? Everyone's final is basically 2 hours of people going up and testing each other's dick size because of how long they spend on their PowerPoint. Look how fancy mine is. Look at my effect. Look, I used
Look,
Prezi.
mine do this. Look, wow. Like
It's not even about the information anymore. It's look, I can put a picture of a dog on this one.
dude,
Because the dog's neural cortex is similar to the human one. And there, there's some correlation. You have to caption the pictures, you have to cite them. Again, it's excessive for all of the wrong reasons.
this has to go. I cannot. This is problem, guys. I swear to you, it's as important as influenza. All right, this is a problem. Instead of debating anime in the comment section, you should debate how to fix this. Education is dying, people. It's dying because
hold on. Once they figure out who the best waifu is, then I'm sure they'll have time to allocate to this.
like, oh my god, like you want to fix black people's inability to get into college? Well, less on the fried chicken, more on the pencils. Less on that Goku shit, and more historic Martin Luther King. What's his name? What's
Malcolm
that?
X.
Anybody.
Gandhi, yes.
Worship the whitest being in existence. I don't give a shit.
Less Kevin Hart, more Amy Schumer.
Wait, what?
What did you just
What
say?
blasphemy is this? I think you just triggered the entire stream.
I think I puked in my mouth.
Yes.
I got something in my eye, and I don't know where it came from.
No, but seriously, less Kevin Hart, more.
Bill Burr,
Dave Chappelle.
Billy B.
Any generic Italian American comedian out there.
No, look, Dave Chappelle is the best black comedian of all time. He called out feminism, but fuck, I said you were gonna keep it in the closet, huh? He called out everything that was wrong with social justice. There we go. We keep it vague.
Yes, keep it PG. Yeah.
10 years in advance. If you haven't seen Dave Chappelle, just
I've
you
seen
owe
a
it
clip
to
of
yourself to
never,
look it up.
never really. Like everybody keeps bugging me about him, and it has that popularity syndrome. If too many people recommend it, you don't want to see it. Just so people chill. It's one of these things. Like it's like, oh, a comedy, you have to see Dave Chappelle, man. He is, like okay, I get it.
Hey man, you have to see Louis C.K. I heard that he's a very nice guy right now.
Poor Louis C.K. What did he get called out on previous abuse? Him and like every other Hollywood guy in existence at this point.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. I don't know what's happened to him since. Nobody wants to work with him anymore, even though he apologized.
You don't. That's the thing. You don't apologize. If you apologize,
you wait a week and then everyone forgets.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so I abused a woman. What more do you want? Okay, I did it. People make mistakes. I'm not gonna apologize. Fuck all of you. And people are in the flame war, right? And then somebody else makes a mistake. It's like, ooh, you're good. You're square. Nobody cares anymore.
But if you admit your guilt, then people won't forget, because then that leaves the professional side of things, the corporate side, to take initiative. So if you admit that it was obvious that like Netflix and HBO were all going to abandon ship,
No.
Because now
Let me put it this way. You know when you're like, you have like your mom. Let's say you haven't been cleaning your room, right? And your mom is constantly bugging you about cleaning your room. And then, it was, one day it was just the wrong time, just the wrong time. She starts it and you just snap, you raise your voice, anything, right? Now, you immediately realizing your mistake and what this means, starts apologizing if you're a good son. And if you have an actual mother, not some babysitter you call a mom, right? You would be actually scared, like you need to apologize right now. But what does the mom do the second she hears the apology? I'm not advocating anything here. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. She's going to bring the bucket list of all the things you've done wrong in the history of doing things that are wrong, just so you clean your room again. And after that, she's going to keep piling that up, right? Because you apologized. This is just an example. It's okay because she's your mom. But when crowds of people ask for a level of intimacy that should be given to somebody as close to you as a mom, there's a problem there. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got lost.
Okay, so Dave Chappelle. Okay, so PowerPoint, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., mothers, accountability.
No. The example was supposed to signify how if you give the crowd the apology, they feel powerful and empowered. There we go. And then they start to pull you into more stuff and try to like break you apart and mold you in whatever shape they want. And because you can never mold a human being, you end up with this grotesque figure that's a shell of its former self. And that's what Louis C.K. is right now. There we go.
He's... Yeah, you really had to limp your way through that one, huh?
It's getting late, man. I don't have coffee.
Well, I lost my thought.
Yeah, I see. It's contagious.
It's the we should I think that's conclude our
I think
glorious
that usually it's a wrap up.
Yep.
You think that's the sign?
Yeah, I think our brains have farted enough.
All right, then. We should pick the MVC.
I don't want to give it to a weeb. Like, let's not pick. Let's just pick somebody who's not a weeb.
Because good luck doing that.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
NVC goes to me.
You know what? Let's go with that. Yeah.
All right,
Q8.
Darkrai Q8. You get the non-weeb MVC award.
Yes. Comment, subscribe, share.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for dealing with our...
As the MVC is here in our presence, we should have him do the outro.
All right.
That way he can give the best shout out.
What about the glasses?
The glasses are for other times. There should be a time where the perfect Aziz comes out again and demolish all of them, Weebs and Danny's and Michaels and whatever their names are. Yes. No sleep. All right.
That's what all of us are on right now, is no sleep.
No sleep. No sleep and no food and no sugar. What
no
kind
sleep.
of man?
No peanut butter and jelly or Nutella sandwiches.
Nutella. All right. My friends, my people, this was the anime grinder.
No,
This guy in
no, you're out. That's it. No MVC for you. How dare you? How dare you?
The anime grinder.
No, dude, you don't know what that means. You have no idea, Aziz, what image it put in people's heads. Grinder is an app that gay people use to hook up. It's the gay Tinder.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
now you've
There-
made an anime grinder. Good job.
Good job. Make.
Good job. Now this is gonna be trending for a week.
Oh my no.
I just broke my fucking thumb.
I'm very
no.
innocent. I don't know what incognito means. So yeah,
Well,
you
you
gotta spare me
Oh,
some.
yeah, that's a true story. Aziz actually sent in the WhatsApp group, "Oh, my daughter was fidgeting with the keyboard, and I found this incognito mode, and apparently this blocks your history. This is very interesting." And all of us thought he was trolling. And
no.
Dude, even YouTube has an incognito mode.
Oh, really?
It has one.
what do you guys want with my blackboard? Leave it alone. It's there for aestheticness.
If you look closely, they're not even words. It's just scribbles.
Yeah, it's just like I sneeze and these come out.
Yeah. So pardon my innocence, people. I don't mean when I speak, and
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm
No,
not.
you're
I'm
done.
not game. I'm not Game of Thrones. All right. I'm
You're done.
not Game.
When Anime Grinder comes out, all right, I'm gonna make sure to send you the profile of every person in that app
In case you're interested.
just to see what you've created.
What you created, huh?
Yeah, a lot of these, look, you look at the weebs in the comment section. You don't think somebody's gonna take this idea and try to roll with it? Hopefully, they're unsuccessful.
Khalid is gonna be happy with the anime grinder.
No, that does not bring up Professor Hentai. Oh no. How is he doing? Is he still alive? Like, did he eat food? Like, is he still dreaming
No.
of Arnold Schwarzenegger and
No. Khalid is a weird being. You try to trigger him in the group and he responds with a lame comeback. Just
There's so much lag that the stream knows. The FBI watching us knows that whenever this gets brought up, they have to like mess with my connection.
All right. Let's wrap up. I know
Let's
Aziz this time. Thank you for coming. This was the Salt Grinder. We'll be seeing you soon.
Let's end it before it gets any worse.
Yes. Same time next week.
Next week. Yes, you guys know the drill. Bye.
All right.
Brilliant.